presentation about cybersecurity, and specifically we're going to want to tailor this towards a farming operation and some of us rural occupants. Brad.
Wow, not too often I get an applause there. Usually it's a one-finger salute, but this is awesome. We're gonna have the crowd going here. This is good. Okay, so my name is Brad. I showed up at exactly the time everyone was sitting down to eat. Coincidence? Maybe not. Thank you so much for inviting me to this. This is really dear to my heart. I came from York Regional Police. I was there for 14 years. I grew up in Strathroy. I came back because I needed family support, and that's very important, and I love Lambton. I'm not leaving. This is my home now. So I didn't make this glorious PowerPoint, but I like talking. And I've been in frauds I was in major frauds up in York for 5 years. Before that I was in organized crime. We started doing projects with Mafia, and I'm like, where's the drugs and guns? It was all frauds. And I did human trafficking. My beard was a little longer, of course I'm tatted. I'm like, where are the drugs and guns? It was all frauds. So I could see where the future was, and believe it or not, frauds are increasing every year, and it devastates our members of Lambton here. Here's one thing. If you don't want to pay attention to me, you don't want to listen to me, just remember one thing, don't be ashamed. These guys are professionals. These guys train hard. When we did warrants in Toronto with romance scams, they would have pictures of Jennifer, likes cats, already giving me $5,000, talk about her mother. Billy, he's this, that. These guys are ruthless and they don't care. They'll take every penny from you. So please do not feel embarrassed. Do not feel stupid. Do not feel any of that. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen how these guys work. They're experts. Sorry, I'm probably going to go quick because I want questions at the end. Stop, challenge, protect. This is number one. We're going to go into some emergency scams, things like that. If we could just stop, take a breath and think, most of the time we can figure out, okay, wait, this is way too good to be true. It's estimated that 5 to 10% are reported. It's actually, Canadian Fraud Center said it's less than 5% of frauds are reported in Canada, which is unfortunate. Last in 2024 was $637 million was lost in Canada. I just got off the phone with a pretty high member of CIBC. She said they had over $1 billion already in losses just with her clients. But remember, 5% reported. Frauds are just taking over our country. And there we go, it's done. Stats, we don't care. What if you're a victim? Obviously stay calm. In Lambton, we're in a unique position. Believe it or not, Lambton is one of the leaders for fraud prevention. I can get into that later on. We've already saved our members in 3 months $160,000 with this new program we're doing with the banks. All the banks are on board. Lambton's going to be the first one to do this. I don't want to get into that. That's too crazy. Of course, call your local police. I want to get into the frauds. Where are the frauds? Here it is. So we're getting into the fake websites. So a lot of these websites you can find, especially with cryptocurrency, you're going to see a lot of cryptocurrency investment scams. They can make 20%, 30%, 40% of your money. I was a miner for Ethereum. I can tell you, in the white paper, the original white paper 2008 with Satoshi Nakamoto that made the white paper for Bitcoin, there's nothing in there that says investment. It was for peer-to-peer transactions. So when you see investment in cryptocurrency, I'd suggest run. Or call me and I'll tell you straight up if it's legit or not. A lot of times they use voice over internet protocols, VoIPs, which is a digital number, very hard to track with a VPN, which is a virtual private network, which changes your IPs, makes you look like they're all over the world. Phishing text, I'm going to get into that. So here it is. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Hey, you owe us money because we've seen some child porn on. All this is pop-ups, and it wants you to get scared to call the number, which in direct goes to the scammer. From there, they extract money from you. Don't get scared. Call the 1-888 number, non-emergency. We'll walk you through it. I've actually helped people fix their computers and stuff before because unfortunately some individuals can't fix them themselves, elderly and stuff, and they paid a lot. But please just call us and we'll help you through this. All right. Telephone calls, email, we got that. So here is the thing. Cryptocurrency is scams. We already went through it. I'm sure everyone here has seen Mark Carney or Elon Musk talking about a cryptocurrency on Facebook, or like, hey, you're gonna get a tax rebate. And it looks like his mouth is, this is all online. It's all fraud. We're trying to eliminate this, but it's very, very difficult when you have Meta and Google taking so much ad. They can't dissect what's fraud and what's real and what's not. Again, this is what they look like. So this is a paper wallet. This is a ledger. It's a hardware wallet. That's a treasure. These are just types. ATM machine. Again, if you get to this point, you should probably be calling us. Protect yourself. Again, we're here to help. People are afraid to call the police. Like in the GTA where I was there, they would call us for people throwing snow on the property. But here it's like, we're here to help. Seriously, we with this project, I had a number going to me 24/7. I woke up at midnight one time. We saved one of our citizens $5 million. So we're here to help. Unfortunately, frauds have always been that negative, where people are gonna think I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm so ashamed. Don't be like that. We're here to help. We can get through this together. Emergency scams. This is pretty serious. This is affecting us hard in Lambton. My generation, unfortunately, grew up with Facebook, and we put our whole lives on there. Now, bad guys are taking 10 seconds of a clip of our voice and turning it back on us. They're calling our grandparents with a little bit of social engineering, calling our grandparents with our voice, asking for help. Hey, I need bail money. Oh, geez, Brad, it sounds like you. It is me. I need bail money. Can you transfer this to me? No problem. And then all of a sudden, Brad, hey, Grandma, how's it going? Are you out of jail? I'm like, well, work is jail, but that's not it. So again, what we suggest is just stop, take a second. Some of the OPP guys are even saying, have a secret password. Hey, Grandpa, remember that password we talked about? Oh, and you'll see the scammer, with their voice acting to AI. I forget it. No, if you're that concerned, the police will call you. Hang up and call Brad. Other stuff they ask for is gift cards. Like, the police don't take gift cards. As much as I love everyone, no gift cards. Let's keep going. Bank investor scams. This is usually when we've gone online and we've downloaded malware and people have access to our accounts. What they'll do is they'll look at our emails, waiting to see if there's an invoice to come in. And when they see that invoice, they'll redirect it to another bank. There's nothing much you can do other than keep your virus scan up to date. Bitwarden, that's included with Windows 11, Windows 10, I think is still #1 right now. It updates by itself. This is more for businesses.
Brad, sorry, what one did you say that was? Sorry?
I'm sorry?
Which virus scanner did you say that was?
There's a built-in virus scanner in Windows 11. Even Apple has it. So as long as you make sure it's up to date, you don't have like Windows 3.1, you should be pretty good. Only a couple of people know Windows 3.1 in there. So again, these are the same kinds of pop-ups where it says, hey, we have a rebate, call this number. Back in the day, the CRA scam, bad guys used to call us. I guess they got sick of us hanging up on them. So now they made it easier. I'm sure a lot of you guys know now. If you get a call, it says press 1 to talk to a representative. So they've made it easier because now it's 50-50 shot. If you press 1, half of the work's over now.
I always press 1.
You do, eh? Just to waste your time. I love it.
I'm a member of parliament.
I love it. Oh, geez. Again, if there's a pop-up, just stop. If it's a big deal, you call us. We'll walk you through it. Support, same thing. Just hang up. Identity fraud. This is a big one because with all the breaches, we're talking about breaches at the table. I know it's very, very difficult to have a password manager and take a Saturday and change all your passwords, but I bet you 60% of the cases in my queue right now are all because of breached passwords. I'm gonna give you an example. We're all human, we all do it. My password for TV might be Bradley1. For Netflix, it might be Bradley2. For Spotify, Bradley3, maybe exclamation mark on the end there. We all do it because we're all humans. We need to get in the habit of using a password manager and using long passwords. I'm telling you, I've seen the hackers that do this. When they download the breached information and they look at a super long, they go to the next one. People that have password managers get less phone calls because they see it and they're like, if these people are smart enough to get a password manager, they're probably not gonna fall for me, even though they're professionals. So that's one thing I can suggest. People calling, spoofing is still available. I have on my laptop where I can call any one of you guys with any number. I can call you with your own number. That's how scary it is. Me as a police officer, all these police, my buddies there call with unknown name on their number, I don't even pick it up. It's just, I'm on a breach list that they know I have cryptocurrency, which I don't. I was just playing around with it because I was, teaching it. Unfortunately now every single scammer thinks I'm one of these billionaire Bitcoin guys. I get called 5-6 times a day. It's horrible. I only have $2 in Bitcoin. Definitely not worth it. So phishing, ooh, this is a good one. This is affecting you guys. So phishing, there's a number of ways we can phish, but it's just someone trying to act like someone they're not. Whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, they are trying to act like someone they're not. So in this case, CRA, notice you owe this money. It was a text, you go to like the government's not gonna have a random IP address of 162.0, but when you're scared, you're gonna click it. I have another example. Ew, not that one. I don't like that one either. This one's mine. So this one, if you see, this is our official OPP website, opp.ca. But if I was a bad guy, I would send someone opp1.ca. And they have to buy the domain. It's kind of difficult, but these guys are professionals. And remember, there's a lot of money at hand. So they might send my client, hey, can you send this invoice to this bank account? We just recently switched financial institutions. Ding, looks legit, right? So more and more businesses, people that have are experience this. Again, just verify that who is sending it to you is the real person. Anything else I missed here? I'm shutting this down every day. So this is actually, when you do something like this, you have to buy the domain. I have the top 3 domain guys on speed dial. They know me by name in all the states. They shut it down for me. But it's just, as soon as I shut it down, they have another one 2 seconds later paying with a fraudulent credit card. Romance scams. So this is a huge one. I have put my number here and I get called at least once a week. I'd rather you call me if you're getting into a relationship and you don't know if the person's right. I will do a quick 2-second reverse image and I will tell you right now if they're legit or not. That could save you potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars down the road. There are so many people online, on Match.com, on everywhere, committing this fraud. It's out of control. So I don't know who's real, who's not anymore. So it takes me a couple seconds, I find it. For romance scams, what this is a person will post a picture. Back in the day, it used to be strictly females. Now it's 50-50. They'll post a picture, and people that go on Match.com looking for significant other, they'll have recently widowed. So a bad guy, all he'll do is he'll just search all those recently widowed, and he's building a relationship with you. Hey, usually they're in the military or whatever. Or hey, I have a briefcase full of gold bars that I need to pay the tax. Can you give me a little bit of money? Just goes down from there. We had doctors, we've had lawyers. When I left York Regional Police, a nurse came. She went to Durham, and unfortunately, told her to get lost. That's not how we treat. That's not how we treat citizens. They came to York Regional Police, and we had to take over the case. But it doesn't matter how sophisticated you are. These fraudsters know what they're doing. Also, they will take everything. One of my clients, victims I had in in New York. I remember the last text message she sent me. She's like, I have nothing else to give. I've sold my house, I've sold everything. And he goes, you still have your car. Like that was the last thing that she had. Oh, crypto, yeah, they call it crypto Rom? What is that? There's a second part to the romance scams that we're starting to see this year. And it's where once they get a little bit of money, or they might not even take money, they will try to convince you to invest into crypto investment scams. And they make it look like you're making money. Don't fall for it. You call me and I'll verify the site's legit. There's only a few legitimate cryptocurrency exchanges. Like Coinbase is the biggest one in Canada. ShakePay or BitBuy are the biggest ones, biggest ones in Canada. Coinbase is the big one in the States. Binance and another one is the biggest one in the world. These are exchanges that take 1% of your money and they're not making 50% of your money. I guarantee that. Yes.
What's the number they should call when they get a scam?
Oh, I'm gonna give it to you at the end. You're gonna have to wait.
I'll get
Because if
away.
I give it to you now, you're gonna run.
No,
All right.
no,
That
it's
ain't
not
happening.
a scam. You never know.
Alright. But I will be back. Listen, I get it. I've dealt with thousands and thousands of people. I will be out there. You want to talk to me private? I'm there. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but one-on-one sometimes better. Oh, so yeah, they'll try to get you to invest in cryptocurrency investment. Don't fall for it, or get you to get gift cards. But we've gone all over. So I kind of left guys on a cliff here. We've gone all around our county and talked to all the supermarkets to advise them of these gift card issues. They actually really help us preventing giving it to, when someone goes in there and asks for $3,000 worth of Apple cards. Hey Betty, I know you're 95 years old. I don't think you're gonna spend that much on Candy Crush. Calm down. So they should know, right? They should know, okay, I'm not giving you this. And they've worked great. And we actually, in Lambton, this is why we're so popular, we actually went to all the banks. And because of this, it was December 16th or 17th of last year, I got 8 elderly emergency scams. That is too much. If you looked at the stats, it takes 6 to 18 months to solve one fraud. So we had to work with the banks. We went to the banks and we said, listen, if you see someone in here that you suspect a victim of fraud, call this number. They called us, and that's how we saved $160,000. Now all the banks want to jump on board. So it was actually a little later than that kind of started this process. Okay, how to protect yourself. Okay, I'm not going over. Are you guys, is everyone alive still? Oh, I am going over. Okay, don't give your personal information. In my experience, even if you give your personal information, they're not going to do anything about it. HELOCs, home equity line of credit, don't happen that often anymore. I haven't seen one in years, actually. So again, bad guys all want money now. They want it now, and they don't care about your information. Friend requests, yeah, don't do that. Share images with, this is your young peeps, not my generation, but sharing private images, don't do it. Because the internet's forever, and it's just out there, and Brad can't surf the internet deleting this stuff, right? Here's the thing. These are gonna be. Actually, I thought I had a thing for you. Yeah, here it is. Beware shopping scams. So like Kijiji scams. Bad guys will buy a Facebook account that's hacked, and they will post something in this region, side by sides, things like that. It won't be crazy cheap where you know it's a fraud, but it's cheap enough where I'm like, I'm not into side by sides, but I can probably make a couple bucks off this. When you contact them, even sometimes you know them. Oh, I know Bob, I went to school with them. Hey Bob, I want that side by side. Hey, you know what? It's yours. I just need a deposit, $500. I know Bob. I went to school with him. Okay, where's my side by side? Bob never responds. You call Bob. Bob's like, I haven't used Facebook in 10 years. What are you talking about? That's the problem. Now we have to do production orders. Production orders take anywhere from 30 to 90 days. If you take one to Interact, I'm asking for the person's bank account and their name on Interact, 30 to 90 days. Once I get that information, it takes 30 to 90 days for the bank to come back. It takes a long time. That's why it's 6 to 18 months to solve a fraud. Oh yeah, meet at the police station. We love having our parking lots full of people. We don't mind. No, seriously, like it's safe. No bandit is going to show up at a police station. Okay, so this is the big one. We talked about the Kijiji Facebook. Yeah, even farm equipment. So they'll post a thing on Kijiji, ask for deposit, and then nothing ever shows up. Yeah, prepaid. I don't know what I was talking about there. I was probably really, really early. Never prepay for an item or provide. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, try not to make a deposit anymore unless you guys know each other. Another thing that was crazy. I went to Kubota in Wyoming there, and I said, "You guys don't do card not presents, do you?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we do it all the time for our good farmers." I'm like, "Oh boy," because it's actually the point of sale terminals disable us from using a card without it being there, without pushing it. But they have it there for clients that are very close. But what happens was when COVID hit, we got really destroyed with people calling over the phone and saying, "Hey, I have a credit card over the phone, can I buy this stuff?" Okay, beep, 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 beep. And then 60 days comes, it gets charged back because that was a fraudulent card. And now the product's gone. So, and cryptocurrency investment scams, that's what's really hitting us, the farmers. So these things right here. Okay, don't be afraid to say no, don't react. Yeah, just again, I like the other one better. Just stop, think about what's going on, take a breather, and then react. And if you don't know, then call it, like ask someone, or call us. I'll give you my information, be cybersecure. Oh, so I'm probably going a little too fast, but we talked about the passwords. Android and Apple both have built-in password managers. Please use it. There's one password. There's Bitwarden. And I know it's going to suck because I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, I got breached from an Xbox forum. An Xbox forum that I joined 2004. So they managed to get my password I used in 2004 with my email, my name. So, and this was just 2 years ago. So we are not, we trust these companies to hold this information, but at the end of the day, we have to protect ourselves. So that's my biggest thing is password managers. Viruses, yeah, pop-ups on things, but if you use Chrome or like internet, it's called Edge now, they're pretty good at stopping that. Yeah, we talk about passwords. Yep, passwords. Multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. Everyone should be using this. Think of it as a little angel just to make sure. It's annoying, trust me. I just want to check my bank balance. I don't want to put this code in, but it really does protect you. Where can you go to help? Go to Petrolia OPP. No. Seriously, call the 188 number if it's an emergency 911. Canadian Fraud Center, they don't investigate anything. They're just a stats agency. So they'll give you fraud prevention tips and things like that, but realistically, they're not going to investigate. It's going to be always the local or municipal police, the provincial police. That's not my number. There. No, that's not my number. I mean, it is. One second here. Ta-da! See, I'm so prepared. Yeah, and I'll be over here for any questions. Doesn't have to be fraud related. You can ask me anything. I'm pretty open. I've been in the job for 18 years, so I'm past all the nonsense. And thank you so much for allowing me to come. I truly appreciate it. You guys don't understand. Education is the only way we can prevent frauds. So I thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Do we have any questions for Greg?
I'll be over there if you want a private question. Absolutely.
No, you don't get away that easy.
So, do you have any specific examples of agriculture, farms, business safety,
Or maybe something specifically rural or something like that?
Usually the ones, we got a lot. Usually the ones are the three I mentioned, the Kijiji deals, the investment scams. So, because they know, bad guys will do a little bit of research, because this is big money on the table, and most of the time they're out of our country. So they will look at the area and be like, what's in this area? they're not selling it side by side Toronto. They're going to be selling it here locally. Farm equipment, a ton of farm equipment. We had a recent case where an individual paid a card not present for equipment, and they already had a farmer lined up that was already going to make the transfer of cryptocurrency. So we stopped it, but that could have been hundreds of thousands of dollars lost. So that's just one example of a situation. So, and of course we worked with a business. We kind of, when we caught the individual picking up the large machinery, he's just a courier. Because again, they're out of seas. They just are out of country. They just randomly pick whoever's available and wants to take the job. So,
Jerry?
yes.
I've had a couple of examples. My mom got a call from TD Bank, yeah, whatever. So I'll call, there's something new that she wanted to get done. She goes, no, I'm gonna call the number on the card. They go, okay, that's fine. So she called the number on the card, still got hacked. That number was hacked. So TD, it was on TD that,
So yeah, we are seeing an increase of, it's a reverse type of phone call. So what they'll do, the bad guy will do is if you really want to call the number on the back of your card, he'll be like, sure, why not? They'll just keep calling you, hoping when you pick up or when you dial, it will connect. So I don't know if that's the situation here, but we've had several of those types of calls.
TD acknowledged that they got.
Oh wow.
It was
Jeez. Like our own government got hacked. Like no one is safe, and that's why I'm saying we gotta protect ourselves. Yeah.
I just want to tell you that CRA will never text you. They will make you call 4 times and wait 110 minutes. So that is for sure a scam. CBSA does not have enough people to tell you that you have a package that involves drugs. That is also a scam. The rom-com thing is a real deal. The my grandkid is in trouble is a real deal. I get calls at my office. My personal Visa card has been hacked 5 times from Scotiabank. They hacked my Visa card, my phone, my email, and imagine changing that and double level security on 40 or 50 things that you're subscribed to. So it's a real deal. Listen to you. Thank you, Brad.
Oh wow. You're hired. I think she got way more other than my 35 minutes of it. That is great. She mentioned something. Rogers, all the 3 major corporations are trying to fix it, but there's something called a SIM swap, where a bad guy will do bare minimum information, social engineering, call in to tell us and be like, I'd like to do I'd like to get a SIM change. They change it over. If I have your number, I now have your life, because now I'm gonna go to Gmail and say, I forgot my password. And where's it gonna go? My cell phone. And now that I have your Gmail or Hotmail, now I'm gonna go to tv.com, forget password. Nothing. CNBC.com, nothing. How about BMO? Forgot password, there it is. I have your bank now. What else can I get? Netflix, everything, your whole world. So that is serious danger. That is the ultimate worst thing that can happen in your life. I was one of the first investigators to do that, and I helped Rogers. We developed the voice recognition, and that actually stopped quite a bit. And another company didn't want to do it until the very end, and by the time I came to OPP, they're like, "Do you want to help us again?" I'm like, "Oh, that was like years ago." So, yeah. Any other questions? I'm sorry, I went into overtime. Yes.
So, play off of that, how do you stop a SIM swap?
So, majority of the SIM swaps that I've seen have been super, super rare now. Like we're talking back in the 2-3 years ago, it was quite common. Because again, all you need is tombstone information. I can get that from breached information online. So the majority of the companies now have the passwords and the voice recognition, where we're not seeing very many now. Yeah, it's only when it goes down, that's when we see the calls go in, believe it or not. So yeah, great question. Yes.
I saw a news scam recently online, but QR code figures over actual ones or paper cards on it. They'll make a QR code if they're over like.
Oh man, so QR codes, great. QR codes are little black squares, black and white squares. When you take it, it takes you to either a site or it'll show you something. So yeah, great. We haven't seen this here. I'm sure Toronto's getting destroyed because that's there.
I saw that yesterday, and it's close enough to the actual website that it'll let you know it's not.
Oh my goodness,
Paying for your
you're
ticket.
destroying my dreams. Yeah, and that is 100% straight. Oh boy. So again, they're putting QR codes on top of the real QR codes, redirecting you to maybe a parking site that looks like it, but it's not. You put in your information, and now they're, again, most of us use the same password, so I don't know how or they're paying directly to them. Oh, how nice. Oh, double. Great. It just never stops. Frauds are just killing. So just protect yourself, everyone. And I know I flew by this, I probably missed a ton, but yeah, we're here to help. So.
Brad, I'll just add one other piece to this. So something that I personally ran into, trying to sell a vehicle, and there are these, that you get these people say, yeah, I love that, but you know, I don't accept a Carfax. I accept some other type, or I trust this particular type of background information. You know, you can go here to get it. I was shocked. I mean, try to post a car. I think within 2 hours, I had 50 of these show up, and they're all scams. Everyone, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, after 2 weeks, I still didn't have a real person contact me on the car. Anyway, thanks once again, Brad. Very excellent information. And we'll hope that the QR code here is legitimate. If not, I'm going to blame Drew, because we got it from the OFA website. Thanks very much. Did you want to mention about this little piece?
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, appreciate the opportunity to get up for a second. Want to give 1 minute on the Rural Ontario Development Program. Currently accepting applications. The business stream may be of interest to people here in the group. Available to small businesses in rural communities, and all of Lambton counts as a rural community, where there's between 1 and 20 employees, so you do need at least 1 employee. It is noteworthy that eligible projects through the business stream include succession planning as well as cybersecurity analysis. And I'll give you 1 extra second on the high level associated with this. It's looking to fund projects that address barriers to economic development, build capacity to attract, retain, and expand businesses. So it could be your specific businesses. Better position those rural businesses to attract and retain investment, and support jobs being attracted and retained in rural businesses. Right now, they're accepting applications. The deadline is September 24th. Lambton County is historically pretty undersubscribed to these particular programs. And so if there is interest in learning more, if you may have a project based on what you read from the information available, feel free to contact us at the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership. We have team members who would be glad to hear about your potential project, help to identify if it may be eligible, as well as assist where possible in aspects of the application process. Again, this is something that's available, significant money through the provincial government, up to 35% of projects and up to $10,000. So a great opportunity available right now. Consider it. Contact our office at the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership. Thank you.
I think before we jump off of this, I know I kind of neglected a couple of my agenda here. I'd like to introduce a couple of people. Drew, would you like to stand up? We've got our OFA president, Drew Spoolster, here with us. Marilyn, I see Marilyn Gladu. So Marilyn, happy you're able to join us. I see Pat Brown. Pat, did you want to do our one of our, is it just councillor, or is it?
Councillor,
For
St.
Clair Township. We appreciate the wonderful venue here. And then I guess our next is, I'll call up Micah here to start going through our scholarships.
Thank you, Brian. I first of all want to say to Brian that he's lucky that he has a call display on his phone when he calls me, because otherwise I probably wouldn't be up here. Probably wouldn't have answered that phone call, but I took this role on this year as first time, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I have been absolutely shocked and pleasantly surprised by the quality of scholarships we had come in. So the Lambton Federation of Agriculture has about $10,000 annually that they distribute amongst post-secondary students within our county. We had 20 applicants this year with over 50 applications to 9 scholarships. So that is a lot. And that was a lot of reading for us. Wow. It was a hard decision picking winners to each one of these scholarships, but we did pick them, and most of them were able to come tonight. So our first scholarship tonight is going to be the Joyce Anderson Scholarship. It is for a student enrolled in a second or third year of any post-secondary program. Now, this scholarship is administered by the Sarnia Community Foundation, and it's going to be presented by Amy Vasey, so I'd like to call Amy up here. This year's recipient is Avery Elwood, who's from Sarnia. Avery is going to the Ontario Tech University. She's taking Medical Laboratory Science Bridge Program, which that on its own I think takes an education just as well, all that. She actually finished a 2.5-year program at Fleming prior to this in a biotechnological program, and hopefully ends up working in the science and diagnostics industry, medical, I believe. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I would like to congratulate Avery for winning this scholarship. Come on up, Avery.
Alright, so I will say a little bit about the Sarnia Community Foundation. So we're proud, obviously, to be a partner in philanthropy with the LFA. If you're not familiar with the Community Foundation, we've been in existence for over 40 years. Although it's called the Sarnia Community Foundation, it is Lambton County, so we do cover all of that. Our mandate is to create a vibrant, inclusive, and livable Lambton County. Connect donors with meaningful causes, creating lasting positive impact here in Lambton County. So recently, with the donors, we've been able to grant 17 community impact grants to organizations within the community. We had 37 applications. So there's a lot of need out there, and we're really proud to be a facilitator of that need. The Joyce Anderson Scholarship is a fantastic scholarship. Obviously, we're very proud to hold that scholarship. It's been administered through SCF since 2014, so we've had it for quite a while and growing it. That's part of what we do, is we invest the funds, grow the funds, and then we're able to distribute. So it can go on in perpetuity. It gives me great pleasure to present this to Avery. Obviously, Megan spoke about her accomplishments, which are amazing and expected for someone for the values that are represented in this scholarship. So congratulations to you, well deserving. Here's your check and then information from LFA.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Awesome, thank you.
Our second scholarship of the night is the Bill and Dorothy Abraham Scholarship. It is to someone enrolled in the first year of a diploma or degree in agriculture. This year's recipient is Dominic Schuley from Bedford. So if I read Dominic's application correctly, he is in a 4-year program at the University of Guelph taking agriculture business. Very good program. I graduated myself from there. And I read that you would like to farm one day and hope to be a successful business owner. So I think this scholarship is going to be a great start to that, because that's I think one successful thing you already got done. We have an envelope with your check in it and a little gift bag. Congratulations. and Timothy Kerrigan Scholarship. It is to someone enrolled in a second or more year program of college or third or more year of a university. The program has to be in Ontario though. This year's recipient was Tekla Garrett from Petrolia. She was unfortunately not able to make it tonight. She's in an accelerated program, is actually writing exams tomorrow, so she was a little worried that it might be a little too stressful to drive down here tonight and then write an exam tomorrow morning. Tekla is in a fourth year Bachelor of Science in Nursing at Brock University. And she wanted to become a nurse after doing a job shadow with Take Your Kids to Work Day in grade 9. She got to go to work with her mom, and she was so fascinated by it that that was the beginning of wanting to be a nurse. And she is very much looking forward to starting to work in this field. So if we can even clap for in her absence. Our next scholarship is the Lambton Federation 1 scholarship. And this used to be known as the, you want me to do this one? Sure. Okay, nice and easier. So the Lambton County Women's Institute Scholarship is for someone entering their first or second year in an Ontario college or university leading to their first degree. This year's recipient is Julia Freer. I'm not sure if she's here. Hello, Julia. Julia had quite the ambition in enrolling in this program. So she's currently in a critical criminology program at Brock University, minoring in Indigenous Studies and Labor Studies. So that on its own, I think, is already quite something. However, she wants to take this further yet and hopes to become a family lawyer focusing on supporting children experiencing the emotional and legal difficulties of divorce, custody battles, and family breakdowns. So I think this scholarship is well deserved, and we obviously hope that you will come back to Lambton County to practice everything that you're learning at school. So if you would like to come up here. So all the information is in there. We've got a little gift bag for you as well. And congratulations. All right, back to Lambton Federation 1. So previously the scholarship was known as the Bell 1 Scholarship, and you'll see it. Lambton Federation 2 as well following this one. Its criteria is for a student enrolled in a second year or more program in agriculture. This year's recipient is Karen Van Dam Elvinston. Karen, if you want to come up here. In reading this application, I was quite impressed. Karen actually didn't start enrolled in agriculture, did you? No. So Karen actually started at Laurier University and missed agriculture so much that she decided to switch programs and go to Guelph University for a Bachelor of Science. The way she read it, she was so passionate about agriculture and just missing rural Ontario. I was actually quite touched by how you wrote it and admitting to yourself that this was not the program you wanted to be in and changing it. I read that you now want to be an agronomist, and we can definitely always use agronomist. So I hope that this $1,000 will go a long ways towards your dream of now becoming an agronomist, and congratulations. Thank you. Our next scholarship is the Lambton Federation 2 scholarship, and it goes towards someone enrolled in any year of a program in agriculture. This year's recipient is Michael McKellar from Elvinston. Michael, if you would like to come up here. So Michael is a fourth generation farmer from Lambton, so it comes as no surprise that he's enrolled in Richtown. I read that you guys are cash croppers and you eventually would like to take over the farm. So I think the funds that you're gonna receive are gonna go towards an education that is definitely gonna come back to the county, and it's gonna be greatly appreciated. So again, congratulations. So our next scholarship is the Lewis Wakefield Scholarship. Donna Stewartson Scholarship. It is for a student enrolled in a second or more year of any post-secondary program. This year's winner was Emily Langford from Petrolia. Emily unfortunately could not make it tonight. She is attending Old College in Alberta and taking agricultural management program. Targeting the crop production area. So congratulations to Emily. And we are next scholarship, Louise Wakefield Scholarship. And it goes towards a student enrolled in the first year of any post-secondary program, 2 years or more in length. This year's recipient was Lily Vandendoel from Port Lambton. I don't know if Lily is here. Lily is enrolled in the Lily is enrolled in the concurrent education program, which is going to take you 4 years, and I believe you're in your second year. Your first year. Yes, I did read that. 4 years and then 2 years of teacher's college. So she still has a few years ahead of her, but she would like to become a teacher. And her undergrad is in math with a minor in physics, and eventually would like to become a high school teacher. Woo-hoo. So, congratulations. So one thing I would like to quickly touch on before we move on. We had one more scholarship that we had no applicants to, and I really, really want you guys to all go home with this and look in your neighborhood and see if you have any 4-H students in your area. We have one scholarship that is dedicated to Lambton 4-H students. They have to have a minimum of 6 clubs, which in this area is not very hard. And it is for someone enrolled in a 3 or more year of any post-secondary education. The applicant must be involved in 4-H programs in Lambton County and completing a minimum of 6 projects like I just mentioned. If you know someone who would qualify for this, please look on our website. All of our information to all of our scholarships is actually there, because we would absolutely love to see lots and lots of applicants for that scholarship. We have many great students in our county that would qualify for it, so if you know someone, have them look it up and have them apply next year. And that's, I think, the little blurb that I just wanted to say, Brian, so I'll give you the mic back now.
Thanks, Micah. Can we get all the recipients up and we just get a group photo, please, before we continue?
It's cozy in here.
Yeah. Color band here.
Once again, a round of applause for all of our recipients. while this is our regional meeting update, I just wanted to give a quick rundown on a few of the, I'll say kind of the key items that we're looking at, kind of trying to keep an eye on here in Lambton. This is just a short runoff of some of the items that we've been involved in the last year, I guess, or mostly here in 2025. Participate in the farm shows, the 4-H chili cook-off, as Mike kind of indicated, we really like to support 4-H, and every year I guess they call it the chili cook-off, and it's kind of their key fundraiser, large activity that they do every year. So we support 4-H very much, and and look forward to participating in that every year. Thanks to our elections that we had, we had some all candidates meetings this year. Always nice to be able to give a forum to allow candidates to come out and actually meet their constituents, have those constituents a chance to ask questions and so on. One of the items, I think this is the second or third year now we've participated in, is the career night at PE Gibbon. Interesting situation that that's a school that's right in the city of Sarnia, but they recognized a few years back that a lot of the students that attend, I should point out this is up to grade 8 school. They recognized that a lot of those students were getting up in that 6, 7, and 8, and just struggling to understand where was their path forward in life, and I guess we've all got to that point at some point, whether that be when we're 13 or 30 maybe. And so they were able to recognize the fact that if they could bring in, in some cases potential employers, but even it's kind of help those students to look at potential paths. They bring in, like say us, they were able through the Sarnia Community Foundation, we were able to make that connection and come in and show them some of the aspects of agriculture. There's several trade unions there. It just kind of allowed them to come around, and I should also say they combine it with a pizza night, and then they have their parents come in and make it an entire family event. Really allows them to explore, understand a little more aspect of, walk up to that individual and say, what do you do for this career, this job that you do every day? What do you do? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? I think it's a great, excellent event, and I hope it's something that I've actually spoken to the Community Foundation about. Can we try and help facilitate this in some other schools in the county? I think it's really excellent. I'll jump over the delegation for a second, but the soil and crop, our Lambton soil crop area, or hosted an area compaction day just very recently here in Rutherford that we were able to participate in and support. The last item here I'll say is delegations. So we try every year to go to various municipalities and just simply sit in front of those council members and actually give them a short update. I'm referring to the one of Lambton, Lambton County Council. Just yesterday, we actually, I don't think we have a picture here, but we were able to have a discussion with Mayor Mike Bradley in Sarnia. Just spend with Mayor Mike, it was great. We were able to spend close to an hour with him and really go into a lot of depth on a number of different topics. But it's nice to kind of let those people understand that we do have agricultural issues that we want to make sure you stay forefront in your mind, and we're here as a partner. We're not here to come and complain to you. We're not here to come and tell you what you're doing wrong. We very much want to be a partner, want to understand how we can help. One of the other events that we've done, I guess every other year here is in June, is try to put a bus tour together and kind of showcase agriculture in Lambton County. In this case, this year, where we just did it the third week of June, we were able to get about 40 of our municipal leaders and other planners and so on to come, and we visited a number of different area farms. This is Parkland Farms here. I guess this is, why is his name escaping me? I know it does. Wilson's beef operation. And what we tried to do a little bit, and this is actually, somebody else can help me with the name of
Aslan.
Aslan Organics. We tried to kind of show a little bit of an aspect of, in the case of Aslan, they're, I think, if I remember correctly, they have 1.6 or 1.8 acres under cultivation. Very highly intensive. They grow a lot of greens and so on and so forth. Go all the way over here to Parkland, that if I think I remember correctly, and I think he also said, please don't write this down, he's either got 16 or 18,000 acres under cultivation. And so it's really kind of nice to see that, in Lambton County, we're blessed with having that all the way from here, all the way over the other side. The other thing we did is tried to look at a little bit of a circle of a corn plant. From the fact when we grow it till it gets this is actually, we were able to visit the ethanol plant and had some explanation and so on, and walked us through some of their processes. And then with Wilson's, we were able to see those dried distiller grains that ultimately end up back in that animal and make that complete circle. It's nice to be able to have that opportunity to be able to show some people, some other aspect that they probably wouldn't be able to see in their normal lives. Some other key issues I just want to touch on here in Lambton County. Probably I'll say number one for all of us in Ontario. Certainly I'm going to say it's probably in the top three if I asked Mr. Spoolster here. Agriculture or land use, I guess land use planning. And when I say agriculture, I guess it's just to understand that farmland is a finite resource, and we can estimate how many acres a day disappears, but we all know that the number's in the hundreds, that on average that disappear every day out of the province of Ontario that'll never be returned to farmland again. At some point, if we continue this expansion, and I'm going to say it's expansion because we know the number's growing, we will eventually get to the point we can't feed ourselves. We are one of the very few countries in the world, I don't have that stat off the top of my head, but I know it's a heck of a very small number, that are able to actually produce more food than what we consume. If we continue to do what we do here in the province of Ontario, and we're not alone, there's a lot of areas in the United States and I'm certain other countries that are taking that farmland away and use it for whatever other purpose, but it's not for food production. We continue to do that, we will get to the point where we cannot feed ourselves. And we just have to recognize that farmland is a finite resource and it needs to be protected. I just added a point there about Hydro 1 transmission lines. We have recently the route for what Hydro 1 calls the Longwoods line has been announced. That's going to touch the southeastern corner of our county. The St. Clair line's already in production early construction stages. I guess I wanted to make that point out there that if yourselves or any of your neighbors have questions, the LFA is a resource that you can come to. And we've got, I think, 3 years experience now in dealing with a number of different landowners, a number of different situations. We're there, we can help you through those questions and provide a neutral resource that you can access. Wind turbines is something that's kind of, I don't want to say it's recent, but I think we've kind of had some projects come and then they disappeared. And in this last 6 months, I know there's about 4 different projects now being proposed for our county. I wouldn't want to say that I'm going to stand up here and say I'm against a wind turbine. I have concerns, but that is going to go back to the same with energy storage. Is going to go back to option 1. If we put that land into energy storage, into wind turbines, it's never going to be food production again. I think we need to be careful of that. One kind of feeds back into that is the old Ontario power generation site, or the Lamp generating station. That's what we would call a brownfield site. It's an excellent location to be able to be utilized for some other type of action. not sit there and grow grass and weeds. I think our governments are working towards something there. I don't really want to talk anymore about that, but that's something we very much want to support. We need to provide some resources and land. You know, in this case, we've got land that's available to do this. I think it's something that's probably a good thing. The last item that this was kind of a key topic for me when we met with Mayor Mike is this. I'll call it a high density residential development that are gonna. There's potentially 3 different ones that are gonna border our Cargill terminal in Sarnia. While I certainly will suggest we need houses, we need ways to house people. The choice of that property is very concerning because while the developers, I'm sure will make lots of ways to sell that property and make it very functional and very usable for those people. We as people in farmers in Lambton County and outside of Lambton County, we need to have that terminal. That terminal needs to stay there. It needs to be able to be in production, and also needs to be able to be, have it modernized and dollars put into it without being hand strapped by complaints about noise, dust, etc. Those things that are going to happen around that area. When you literally across the road got $1 million condos that are being put up right in front of that property. Very, very big concern for us. I won't go through all these, but just kind of a few other ways that we, we try to reach out, support back our dollars that come into the community. Obviously, farm safety is something that's always very, very near and dear to us. We put a significant amount of dollars in support into farm safety, and we'll certainly continue that in the future. Another one I want to hit, we kind of talk about food banks and Christmas for everyone. I'm going to say I think the number's well over 5 figures that we supported with area food banks and so on in the county. We've done that for several years. We will continue to do so. Some of the ways that we try to connect with some of our members through, we do have a monthly radio spot on 4 different radio stations now, if I remember correct. Put a newsletter out, via some newsletter out, via email and other social media channels and so on. We have our website, and then we do have like I said, we try to, the area farm shows and try to make sure we're there, we're available to our members. That is going to be the end of my presentation. So now we're going to go to Crispin next. Crispin, if I can ask you.
Good, this works. Yep, thank you. So, this is going to be a short update on what the OFA, what we've been up to for the last year. Excuse me, some of the ways that we make a difference. These are some of the big issues that we've dealt with: tariff and trade, advocacy, government relations, community involvement, and of course programs and partnerships with impact. And with impact is the important word there, because we don't want to just partner with anybody. We want to have things be effective when we do things, and that's the important key. Unabashedly, that's my grandkids out in the soybean field with me, and I was really pleased because they didn't want to come out with me, and I said, "Oh, come on, let's go." And they actually put down their Game Boys and that and came out. So tariffs and trade have been a big issue and a big problem. I don't need to tell anybody in this room that. We know that this has been a challenge. We support the Team Canada approach. We've been working on that whole approach from the beginning, getting agriculture's voice in front of government. And I'm pleased to say that people like Marilyn Gladu, who I met with last week, has an open door for people like myself and the OFA, and I'm really pleased. It makes my job easier. And we have a great dialogue about where we might be able to go. So I appreciate that. And it's important that members know what's happening. And we advocate as well with some of the US leaders leaders all over. I had a meeting courtesy of the Chamber of Commerce, and Robin, thank you for that, for inviting me with the U.S. Consul General to talk about tariffs and the impact on both Ontario and the U.S. And Robin often includes agriculture, and that's one of, again, those relationships and what's important, because it lets us get our voice heard, and it helps everybody else around the area as well. Rural infrastructure has always been a challenge, and getting the funding for it has always been a challenge. And I don't need to say that to the municipal politicians in the room, because you know how hard it is to get funding and how hard it is to get the dollars that you need to increase the infrastructure in the area. And we continue to lobby for more infrastructure funding. We always talk, among other things, about the roundabouts, making them large enough for farm equipment. That's a challenge for not just farm equipment, but trucks as well. And roundabouts are great, except if they're too small, and that has been an issue. And MTO, at one meeting I was at, this was probably a year or two ago at this point, said they didn't realize they were too small. So obviously they haven't been out in the country to look at some of the farm equipment. So we also join sometimes with our municipal officials asking for government support financially, because local governments they're the ones that are in charge of a lot of the roads and bridges that we use in our businesses, that everybody uses every day, and they need the cash to make those improvements or to enhance them or build new ones. So local farm food and farm business supports, we've advocated right from day one, buy local. Buy local is really important. It's not just because it's supporting the local economy, but it supports fresh product as well. Everything that you buy locally is not just local, but it's fresh. It's produced by your neighbors, by your friends, by people you know. So it's important to maintain that local. And we push to have Ontario making local procurement a priority, so that procurement for hospitals, or if they're buying for schools, or any government agency, they should be buying Ontario products. That's just common sense. We've also looked at the spring provincial budget. One of the things that we've pushed for and have seen changes in is the risk management program funding, which was increased to $250 million. That was very much needed. It's been wanted by a lot of people, so we were really pleased to see some of these things take effect. So members identified for us three top issues. So that impacts how we go about our job. So the top three were taxation, energy, and property rights. And property rights are probably the one that I think I hear as much about as anything. The theft and the trespassing. I've had people come onto my farm just to take a picture. They don't ask, they don't knock at the door, they just walk along as though it's public property, and that's really annoying. I don't have a problem with it, but I at least expect the courtesy of someone to come in and ask if they can do it. But I think the most annoying thing I had happen on my farm, because my driveway's long, and I have a little shift to one side where I can take a tractor into a field, the guy actually pulled his car off to the side, parked on my driveway, and was having a cigarette. That kind of thing is just unacceptable in my book, but again, what do you do? But it's part of that trespassing issue. And also with the trespassing factor is biosecurity. Because if somebody starts coming wandering on your farm, as they have on mine, to take pictures of whether it's animals or just the flowers or whatever it might be, you don't know what they're bringing on. And they don't know what they're taking off, and they go somewhere else. So it spreads illness, disease, and problems. We used to have people do geocaching around our farm. For whatever reason, they liked the side road and some of the fence posts. My wife and I would try and find out where they put the things, and we'd take them and hide them, throw them out. Because we had people walking all over the soybean field looking for something that was on a fence post. Like, they don't even think, they just assume that they can wander. So that's a big issue. Energy, of course, is always a topic of discussion. In fact, that was one of the things that Brian and I spoke to Mayor Mike Bradley about, line 5, making sure that it stays. It's very important, not just to this area, but to all of Ontario. So we have ongoing advocacy that we are doing all the time, things that we're lobbying government about and discussing with and talking to the decision makers about. And the top ones are, of course, farmland preservation. Interprovincial trade has started to become a big issue also. And one of the challenges with interprovincial trade, of course, especially if you're looking at, say, livestock, using as an example, is all the standards are different. So in Ontario, we can have a meat inspector, and that meat cannot leave Ontario. But if it's at a provincially inspected plant where they have veterinarians for the inspections, that meat can go anywhere in the country and out of the country. So some of those barriers are going to be a challenge to be improved, make it so that products can move across the country. But we're working on that, and we're trying to help government along with that. The other one that's probably one of the right up there that, again, we talked to Mike Bradley about yesterday was stormwater management. Some municipalities have decided that farms will pay a stormwater management fee. Stormwater, when it runs off the buildings on our farms, usually goes straight into the ground. Farms are catchment areas. We absorb the water. We don't create the issue. So we're really watching that municipalities who want to put on stormwater management fees on farms, we push back really hard on that. That's not an issue that they should be doing, that we should have to deal with. And of course, I mentioned earlier the rural infrastructure that we need. So we're in the public eye quite a bit. You've probably seen Drew a number of times either in the press or on TV doing interviews. We all do a number of interviews. We all seem to get out in public situations and try and promote what we're doing in agriculture. We all do them. I've done them both in English and French. And there are 3 of us that speak French around the board, so they get split out. So we all try and promote, it might be a given topic that the media wants to talk about. It could be land preservation. It could be, sometimes it's because it's been a really dry year. How are the crops doing? You know, so all of that gets out into the public, and that's important because that gets our message out. So people driving down the road look at a crop and may think, gee, it looks really green, it's great. But if it's corn, and you can show the media that, yeah, it looks nice, tall stalk, but the cobs aren't growing at all. We don't have the silks, haven't turned into kernels. So all of these issues help to get our message out to the public. So as I say, getting the message out, and you can see what we've done. We've had 150 different media requests. This is probably out of date because there's probably been at least 20 more since this was printed. Viewpoint columns that we do, homegrown releases, and our OFA press releases as well. Most of you, if you don't have us on your media, you can get it. We're more than happy to send it out. The other thing is, if you know any small newspapers, I've been able to get a couple of small newspapers in my area that want material. That most of the small ones, if they're weeklies in particular, want material. So if they're not getting OFA material, let us know. We'll make sure they get it. And we invest in the communities. We've done the Revive Fund. The Revive Fund started when COVID hit. We were trying to think, okay, we've got money. How do we get people to do projects even during COVID? That's how it started. Since that time, we've continued to invest with our local federations. It's a joint funding project. Some of these projects you can see here, there's a road safety one. This is grain extraction. That one I think was a leadership program, and this one of course is farm safety. So all kinds of different projects. Lambton County a few years ago provided some money for the helipad at the hospital. The theory being that accidents happen in the country and that's where we need a helicopter. So those are some of the projects that have been going on. We've also partnered with farmers markets in Ontario. And again, when I talk about buy local, what a great place to go. And it's really interesting because a lot of people like to go out and just talk to the farmer. And what a great way for us to get our message out about what we do. So the farmers markets are really a really excellent place to go. So I mentioned earlier that we talked about building relationships with our commodity organizations and partners. So we work together. So these are some of the newer commodity members that have joined up. And how we work together is we work on common issues. So Stormwater management, for example, was one. Condemnation of animals is one that the beef farmers of Ontario are particularly concerned about, with the number of animals that are being condemned before they even get to the slaughterhouse. And that means it's a lot of money out of people's pockets. So we have to have standards that are fair and equal for everybody. So again, we speak with politicians, economic development officers, and planners when we share at trade shows. We see these people at trade shows, places like Roma, AMO, Good Roads, and we have an opportunity to tell them what we do. And it's really interesting when you're there to find out how much they want to know about what we do. And that's really encouraging. People want to know what we do, and they want to know the problems we have, and how can they help, and how can we help them. It's got to be a two-way street. So we do programs in education and support. The top picture here on our Queen's Park days, I think this one was actually at Canadian Federation of Agriculture with Senator Rob Black there, where we take emerging leaders to Ottawa with us in this case. We also do a Queen's Park Lobby Day, and we'll take some emerging young leaders with us there as well. And this is partly to give them an idea of what we do as directors, but also if it sparks an interest, then they may stay on the local federation and perhaps someday become directors of the OFA themselves. Our homegrown program speaks for itself. We're encouraging people, recognizing what is grown here locally in Ontario. But I think the one I really want to touch on is the wellness program, the Making Wellness Matter. And I have a story about this because I was a few years ago in Ottawa at the Ottawa Valley Farm Show. And I was at the wellness booth with Joanne Fuller, one of our member service representatives. And a lady came up and she said, I want to talk to you guys about my son for a minute. She said, my son he had gone to school in Alberta, came home at Christmas, and he was really depressed. Things weren't good, he hadn't met a lot of people, things just weren't good for him. She said, I gave him the phone number. I said, look, why don't you just talk to these people? You know, it doesn't hurt, just have a conversation. And she said after a day or two, he finally dialed the number. She said, I want to thank you. You saved his life. I was afraid he was going to commit suicide. He was that depressed. So that number, if you even know somebody who may be a little down for a day or two, just say, hey, why don't you call that number? You know, there's no shame in it. It's great. And all it is people who will talk to you. They're counselors. They're agricultural counselors. It's not just any old counselor, not to take away from any old counselors, but they're agricultural specialists. They're available 24/7, 365 days a year, and you can be your family members, and if you have full-time employees, they're eligible to use the line as well. So some of the key findings, we do surveys, and I really hope that we'll get high numbers of people doing the survey, because when I showed the list and I said we had 3 priorities that our members talked about, it's because of the survey that happened. We need to know what concerns you have so that we can work on those. Those are the things that matter. So zone involvement, well, I think I've already touched a bit on that, but meet regularly with MPs and MPPs, local politicians as well. Every level of political person is important. We have to talk to all of them. It's important because we want to advocate for land use planning, for example, and that's done at the local level. So economic opportunities, that can be a combination of provincial, federal, and local. And of course, we always have member issues and concerns. So I like to meet with members, talk about their concerns. I do numerous presentations, as Brian pointed out, with local counties and councils, and attend as many events as time allows. So it's important that we get out and we do some of these activities. Oh, that one came up twice. We must have liked the pictures. So, as I say, we appreciate the involvement of all the members and local federations. And I really think, I can't emphasize enough again, The two things, if you only take two things away from this, the wellness phone number for mental health, and fill out the survey so that your concerns can be heard by us and we can take them forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Crispin. I don't know if I actually introduced Crispin. I forget about Crispin and Karen, our OFA representatives. Crispin's our zone director, Karen's our MSR. I don't think about them as guests is the problem.
And what does MSR stand for?
Member Service Rep. And speaking of Karen, your turn.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Karen McLean. I am the member service rep for Lambton and Middlesex counties. I've been on the job for a couple years now, so starting to get used to running these elections. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to elect representatives to attend the annual meeting for OFA that comes up the end of November, as well as elect representatives to the Policy Advisory Committee. So we're going to walk you through that. To be eligible to run for those positions, you have to have a farm business registration number or an individual farm membership. There's only one vote per membership. You must be residing in the region, and if a nominee's not here tonight, they had to have let us know in writing. I do need 2 scrutineers if we have an election. I was wondering if our police officer, Brad, if Brad can, as well as, they left already. Oh yeah, Drew. If Drew and Brad could be scrutineers if we have to have an election tonight. So could I get a motion to appoint those people as scrutineers?
Gary Martin, so moved.
Gary, and a seconder, Harry, thank you. So at this point, we're going to declare all positions open. So the first one is the Policy Advisory Council. We call it PAC. And what it is grassroots members that have been elected to represent their organization. And what they do is they bring issues and concerns from the county level to the board. And they meet approximately 2 to 3 times a year. They provide advice and input to the board of directors, and they attend and vote at the AGM the following year. We generally meet in Orangeville a couple times a year, and they report back to the local board. And all elected positions are compensated for their time and mileage. So we need 3 representatives, and our current representatives right now are Brian Eves, who you've met, Gary Martin, who's at the back of the room, and Harry Van Weeren, who is here in front of me. So they will go to this year's AGM. We're now going to have nominees for PAC, and they will start their term after this year's AGM. So 2 folk have already submitted their names, those being Brian and Harry. I'm going to call for nominations. If anyone is wanting to nominate somebody to represent Lambton County on the PAC.
I thought I put my intention in.
I'll nominate Gary Martin.
Okay, we got Gary Martin.
No, the question was, are you willing to attend the AGM? And I already am as the 2025 representative. So
Are we going to argue over this,
No,
Gary?
I'm saying.
Okay, so we will
I'm
put
already
Gary's
going, so I
name
put
down. Are there any, a second call for nominations for PAC? And final call for nominations for PAC. Okay, so we will have Brian, Harry, and Gary represent Lambton County again for the coming year.
Do you have an alternate in
Yeah,
case?
it's coming.
Okay.
So the OFA AGM happens at the end of November every year. This year it's on November 25th to the 26th. And we will be electing representatives for that. At the AGM, you can do some networking, you'll participate in presentations, in workshops, and can provide input on resolutions. And we also elect our director at large. So really, why do we do this? Well, we want to showcase what OFA has done over the last year. And again, delegates from all over the province have the opportunity to bring their concerns from their local counties. Again, you can participate in seminars and workshops, and there's also the Ontario Young Farmers Forum, which I'll explain further in a few minutes. So right now, these folk have already put their names forward for the AGM. Debbie Koch, Micah Campbell, Gary Martin, Fraser Beatty, and Brad Langstaff. So I will call for nominations. We require 9 people.
So Gary won't be on that.
Yeah, because, yeah, that's right. So we'll erase Gary's name. So I'll call for nominations for delegates to the AGM. And you can self-nominate.
I'll nominate Cassie.
Yeah. Cassie Van Engelen. Oh, Dave?
Gabrielle Ferguson.
Okay, Gabrielle. Second call for nominations.
So Julie or Kyle able to go?
Yeah, nominate them.
Throw them on the list.
Okay, so Julie and Kyle, Ma.
Since you're here.
And third and final call.
Micah?
Yeah, she's on.
She's on there, yeah, she's put her name. Okay, so seeing none, we will do them in reverse order. So Kyle, Ma, will you accept your nomination?
I'd like to thank my nominator, but I respectfully decline.
And Julie, Ma.
I'd like to again thank my nominator and I decline this time.
Okay, and Cassie?
I will accept.
Okay, and Brad's not here, but I know he has already, I've already talked to him.
Dave?
Oh yeah, sorry, Gabriel.
Yep, I'll accept.
Awesome. Okay, Fraser. Gary Martin is already as a PAC member, so he'll be there. Micah.
Yep.
And Debbie Koch, who's not here, but she's communicated with me. So then we require 2 alternates in case somebody's unable to attend. So Bert has put his name forward. I'll open the floor for further nominations for an alternate. So Harry nominates George Dickinson. Second call for nominations. And final call. So in reverse order, George, will you accept your nomination?
As an alternate, yeah.
Okay, and Bert, where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Okay, so that's great. We've got our alternates. So final motions I would like to get from the floor is to allow the Federation to fill in the vacant positions. So again, we needed 9 AGMs, and I think we got about 6 delegates. So could I get a motion to allow the Federation to fill the vacant positions? George, seconder? Gary? And I need a motion to release the scrutineers. Micah and Harry. And finally, a motion to close the elections.
I'll make the motion.
Brian and Bert. Okay, thank you. So that ends the elections. Just a note on resolutions to the OFA. You can submit a resolution at any time during the year, but if you are thinking of putting one together, they need to be in by November 6th into head office in order to be considered for the AGM. A reminder that resolutions that are carried by the delegates to the AGM or special general meeting are not binding to the OFA board unless the resolution amends OFA's bylaws. Okay? So I mentioned earlier the Ontario Young Farmer Program, so we've got a few people here who are scholarship winners that may be interested in something like this. So it is a conference that's held in conjunction with the OFA's AGM. So this year it's on Monday the 24th and Tuesday the 25th of November. And what they do is they'll have guest speakers, networking opportunities, tours, things like that. So if you know of anyone 18 to 40 who may be interested in that, by all means contact anyone here at the Lambton Federation.
Karen, in the years past, the LFA would cover the
Yes.
cost, and we haven't made that motion yet, so I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, so generally the LFA will cover the cost of that conference for individuals. And that's everything for my part in the presentation.
Okay, thanks, Karen. A little earlier when I did municipal, I neglected Dave Ferguson back here as one of our municipal vets. And then Don McCabe as well. Thank you both for joining. So we're getting close to the end of our program here. This year we have our elections for our regional director. We have both our candidates in the room here tonight. That's Crispin Colvin and Micah Campbell. I want to give both of them the chance to come up and say a few words.
Thank you again, Ryan, for giving me a few minutes to talk about myself. As you by now know, my name is Mikey Campbell. I farm side by side with my husband and 4 kids. We own and operate a broiler beef and cash crop farm in Warwick and Lambton townships. And I also have extensive experience in the swine industry, having owned a swine operation for 20 years. I'm an active agriculture community member representative on the Lambton Grain Farmers. Here I am the secretary and a director. I'm the president of the Lambton County Pork Producers. I'm a director with Swine Innovation Pork out of Ottawa. I am a director with the Prairie Swine Center out of the University of Saskatoon. I'm a member of the National Programs Advisory Council under the Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada office out of Ottawa. And locally, I'm the equipment manager with Texandra Soccer Club out of Arkona. I'm a 4-H leader with the Elvinston Beef Club. And I'm a founding member of the Fit Like a Pro Clinic, which successfully completed our 3rd annual Flip and Fit weekend with 40 kids from across Ontario this summer in Brighton. And in case anyone is wondering what a Flip and Fit weekend is, it's really taking beef cattle and making them nice and fluffy and ready for a beef pageant. So it was a lot of fun. Our farm has been the recipient of the Ontario Premier's Award in the Agri-Food Innovation, and we've won the FX Ahern Innovator Prize at the Banff Pork Seminar. But I think I spoke enough about me. What am I going to do for you? As your potential director, I have 3 priorities. My first one is raise awareness around the need for adequate infrastructure required to keep Ontario agriculture nationally and globally competitive. And I know OFA already does a lot of that, but at a local level, we all hear about the need for adequate natural gas access. 3-phase hydro is another big one. High-speed internet, we still have areas in our area or in our counties that don't have high-speed internet. And finally, roads. We need bridges that we can bring our equipment across. We need wide enough roundabouts, like Crispin did mention. Secondly, keep government informed on the impact excessive regulations have on sustainability and success of agriculture, particularly Ontario agriculture. And I think that one is pretty self-explanatory. We can't succeed as farmers if we have too many regulations in place to make that successful. And finally, it's something very local, and it's only going to impact a few of us in this room, but I'm pretty passionate about it. Help find solutions to local large animal veterinary shortages. I don't know how many of you are beef farmers in this room, but if we need a vet in this area, our closest vets are a minimum of 2 hours away. We, a lot of days, don't have 2 hours to get a vet to our farm, because that might be the difference between a live animal and a dead animal. And I'm very, very passionate about it. I don't want to see backyard practices, which we're currently looking at in some situations. So I'm going to continue raising that need of having more vets in this area. I think my experience speaks to the competency in collaboration, communication, and relationship building skills that, especially when combined with my agriculture expertise, extensive board work, will surely contribute to my ability to serve the Lambton Federation and Middlesex Federation of Agriculture members. If your priorities align with mine, please give me a chance and vote for me, Micah Campbell. Thank you.
Thanks, Micah. Krishna, can you come up?
Thanks, Brian. So, first of all, thank you for coming tonight. So, for those of you who don't know me, because Brian failed to introduce me, my name is Kristen Colvin, and I'm seeking re-election to the Ontario Federation of Agriculture Board of Directors. I've been a board member for the past 9 years. Prior to becoming a board member, I was mayor of Thames Centre and warden of Middlesex County. I also chaired Fanshawe College Board of Governors, and I just recently came from chairing the Farm and Food Care Ontario group. Our family's been farming in Middlesex County since 1971. My wife and I were 4-H leaders, and I was also a governor at the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. As an OFA member, I've been involved in numerous issues. I was asked to sit on the Transportation Committee with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture when looking at transportation concerns that impacted agriculture across the country. And I continue to take an active role on the impacts of railway policy affecting Ontario farmers. So whether it's railway crossings or on farmland or drainage issues, they need to be addressed in a timely fashion. One of the items raised by many of the people in this area, Lambton and Middlesex, are the hydro corridors that run through Lambton, Kent, and Middlesex counties. And we continue to address the loss of land as well as fair compensation with hydro. Throughout my time on the board, I've raised issues that you, the members, have wanted to bring up and think are important to you. In order to effectively communicate on your behalf, it's important that we have good relationships with our municipal leaders, our MPPs, and our MPs. I make a point of meeting with political leaders at all levels to let them know what's important to our industry. I've raised issues such as lack of processing for our products, whether it's crops, beef, pork, or poultry, and I continue to talk about the most precious commodity of all, land. Land that is being lost at an unprecedented rate. In the last census, we're losing 319 acres a day. And I have no doubt that we're losing considerably more than that today. In order to alleviate that, we need to have more land not taken out of production. So that means that we have to go to municipalities and tell them to build up, not out. And it shouldn't be restricted to just centers like Sarnia and London. There's no reason smaller municipalities can't build up and not out as well. We see too much of the land being spread out and it's too much sprawl. Smaller communities can benefit from intensification, and that in turn protects farmlands because you don't sprawl. So our farmland is as important as any critical mineral, and it should be treated as a critical mineral, because without land, we're at the risk of losing the ability to feed ourselves. At the loss of 319 acres a day based on the amount of arable land in Ontario, we have 100 years of land left in Ontario that can grow food. Once it's gone forever. So we need our food for food security. I've had members, both and political members, who worry about the standards of food coming into the country. And I was at a seminar that CFIA was a member. And what they said kind of worried me, because they said they inspect 70% of the food in Ontario or in Canada is Canadian produced. So that means only 30% of what comes into the country is inspected by CFIA. And to my way of thinking, it should be the other way around. Canada has extremely high standards. I was invited to speak as a panelist to the Sarnia Chamber of Commerce, and I was able to put forward at that panel the economic concerns and the needs of this area. I was also invited to meet with industry leaders with the U.S. Consul General to discuss the current economic challenges that I mentioned earlier. The point I'm making is the position of director is more than just going to board meetings. It requires time to build and cultivate the relationships that are important to preserve, protect, and promote agriculture in our region. This work takes time and it takes dedication. It means that there are times when I'm away from the farm. And that's sometimes difficult, but it's important. So meetings in Toronto or Ottawa with MPs or senators, these are important to bring our message to those who are making decisions about what we do. So over the 9 years I've been a director on the OFA board, I've worked hard to build and maintain these relationships. Working as a member of the OFA team and having these connections means that your voice gets heard. So I ask that you re-elect me, Crispin Colvin, so that I can continue to represent you not only at the OFA board, but also with the elected officials and industry leaders in our communities. Thank you.
Thanks, Crispin. That concludes our program for this evening. Do we have any questions for the candidates? Do you want me to read? Before we do this, Drew, I was going to give you an opportunity to say a few words. If you'd like.
Sure, well, thanks everyone. Thanks Brian for the opportunity. It's great to be here in Lambton County and chat with a lot of you here tonight and see some good crops for a change back home. So I come from the Hamilton way and things have been pretty dry all summer. Some of the drought concerns right across Ontario are pretty staggering for a lot of our members. So it is good to see you guys having a decent year down here, crop-wise at least. And I think you were due, of course. So there's been lots of chat tonight here about land use concerns, and certainly it is always our number one file at OFA. We do continue to see significant land loss, and it's certainly unsustainable for the business of agriculture going forward in the future. So it is one of our key priorities. A number of our other key priorities have been up here as well. Yeah, it's certainly been a busy summer. Certainly taking the opportunity to get around to a lot of different counties, myself and other members of our team, to see what's up in different counties and different areas. I just wanted to address the election concerns in this zone, and there were multiple mistakes made early on in the elections process, and we did try and rectify that as best we can. We're certainly committed to a fair elections process, and hopefully we've got all the bugs worked out, and we can get through this without any major concerns. But if you do have any concerns, feel free to contact me, contact our office, and we'll get them straightened out. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. Appreciate the opportunity, and hope to see you down the road.
Thanks very much, Drew. I guess I just want to open the floor for questions. Whether it be questions to the candidates, questions of us. You've got most of the LFA directors in the room. Yes.
Plug in for the ball match or not?
Certainly, come on.
You bring your banner with you.
Don't bring your banner with you.
So I'm Dennis Bryce, and I'm going to be chair for 2027 International Plow Match. And right now we have the Lambton County match on the go, which is for the 30th of the month, this Saturday. And so some of you that are sitting around the tables here, we'd love to see us out. And we have about, I heard it was 20 banquet tickets still to sell. And so I know there's a couple more of those have been taken, but we have extras. And on the international side, there's a temporary banner back there just trying to get awareness out that the plow match is coming to Lambton County 2027. Brian here is going to be on a committee with us on the top side, and Fraser as well. I see other faces in here that I have talked to. Now I can recognize that there they are. And anyways, we are a plowing match, so there will be vendors, but there will be plowing. And the plowing, I know some people think it's kind of, why are you still doing that? But it's an art. It's just like other forms of recreation. It's an art. And it's not just about plowing the field at home, it's about doing everything right. And I've been to some matches this summer, and wow, do they ever do it right? But they've invested money big time in hydraulics and all the other attachments that go on the plows. So it's a special art, just like people that go out and do races or bike rides or whatever. It's just another sport. And Brian and Fraser, myself, and others that have maybe not volunteered, but maybe can and will volunteer, we're going to make the Lambton match one of the best ones that's been around for many, many, many years. So thanks, Brian, for the chance.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Yeah, I think that, what did we say? Yeah, the dates are September 21st to 25th of 2027. Seems like a long ways away, but I'm afraid it'll be here before any of us know it. So great, yeah. Can I open the floor? And
one thing I wanted to say, Robin's not here to promote this, but the Green Committee for the Chamber is doing a green breakfast on September the 11th, and our guest speaker is Ken Phillips from the Conservation Authority, talking about funding that's available for farmers for flood abatement and for cover crops and stuff like that. So, but it'll be advertised soon. It's on the Chamber's website right now. So you want to join them.
Okay, that's September 11th, you say here?
Yeah.
Keith?
Just thought I'd put our scholarship recipients on the hot seat for a moment.
Certainly. Would you like a microphone?
Why not? No, we might give them the microphone though.
Sure, okay, I can do that.
So my question is, for those of you that are involved in agriculture, who are thinking that you will stay in agriculture, how many of you are willing to or would be eager to or excited to go to the Young Farmers Forum at the Ontario Federation of Agriculture in November?
That's a really easy question.
Always.
Everyone.
Yeah, if they've got time.
No, sorry, you don't get to answer them.
If they've got the time, we get the money.
Gary's point though, excellent question. And I do want to make the comment, no, absolutely I will. But I do want to make the comment that the LFA will not let dollars stand in the way. This is something that we will support to ensure that you're able to go. So, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, no, I would definitely like to attend that for sure, depending on how my school schedule is, obviously. But if I'm free, for sure, I'm definitely interested in doing that.
Karen, the schedule goes to Monday. The OIFF goes to Monday, doesn't it?
Well, it usually starts, I think it starts Sunday night.
Sunday night?
Yeah. I think it starts Sunday night, it's all day Monday, and then until noon on Tuesday.
Okay,
I think
noon on
that's
Tuesday.
what- Go ahead.
So I would also be interested in that for sure. And being at GLOW, and a lot of professors, they definitely understand that you live on a farm and have all these experiences that you can go to. And so if you just go up to your professor and say, hey, there's this thing happening that I want to go to, they will say go. Like they'll say you can watch the class online. They will give you all the notes later. So I would definitely like to attend that.
Excellent. No.
Some of them are in other careers, so I understand.
Anyone else?
I think someone left.
Thank you, that's okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the question. Anyone else before I call for that much coveted motion? Motion to adjourn? Micah. Thanks very much for coming, folks. This was really do appreciate you coming out. It gives us some opportunity to connect with all our members. Let us show you what we do, how we try to contribute to agriculture and rural living in Lambton County. So appreciate you coming up. Hope to see you next time.